Hello everybody. Today we're going to be solving by elimination. Now this is similar to substitution, but it's going to take away some steps in a few of the problems and make the problems easier. You can always still solve by substitution, but this is just another method that we're going to do. So over here I've broken out the steps for you, and I'll go through those in a couple examples here for you. So we're going to be solving by elimination. Here's our first example. So as you see, we have two equations. If we wanted to solve by substitution, we would have to solve for one variable, which means extra work before we start substituting into the other hand. So this one, elimination, we're hoping to shorten it up, make it a little easier in some problems. So the first step when you're doing elimination is to decide, will any of the variables cancel out if you add the equations? So if you see 2y plus 4y is 6y, x plus negative x is actually going to cancel out, and that's what we want. All right, so then once we know something's going to cancel out, we need to make sure the like terms are lined up. Like terms are same variable or just a number. So the y's are lined up, the x's are lined up, and the numbers are lined up. Then we're going to add the like terms. So we're just going term by term. 2y plus 4y is 6y. Now here's what makes this nice right away. The x's are actually going to cancel out. X minus x just cancels out completely. So the x's are gone. So then we carry down the equal sign. 7 plus 11 is 18. Then step 4 is solve for the one variable that is left. So if you did this right, one of the variables should cancel out and you should only have one left. So to get y by itself, to solve for y, we got to divide both sides by 6. 6 cancels out over there. 18 divided by 6 is the 3. So that tells us y equals 3. But we're not done. So step 5, we got to plug in the value that we just found into one of the equations to solve for the other variable. Now I would pick whichever equation you think is going to be easier. All right, I'm going to pick the first one. I'm going to take the 3 that y is equal to and put it in for y in the other equation. So that looks like this. 2 times 3 plus x equals 7. Oops, this should be a 7. Or this should be an x. Oops, made a mistake. That's all right though. So 2 times 3 plus x equals 7. So now we need to find the value for x. 2 times 3 is 6, so that's where my 6 came from before, plus x equals 7. Then, get x by itself, we need to subtract 6 on both sides to get it to cancel out on the left. Cancels out. So then we're left with x equals 7 minus 6 is 1. And then finally, step 7, write out the coordinate point where the 2 points cross. That always looks like this. X, y. So x, the x coordinate where they cross is 1, and the y coordinate is 3. So those two lines cross at the point 1, 3. Example 2. So first step, we're deciding if any of the variables are going to cancel out. The x's will cancel out because one is positive, one is negative. The y's will not because they're both positive. So we're going to add again. Like terms are lined up, so then we can go and add the equation. 2x plus negative 2x cancels out. Y plus y is 2y. And 1 plus the 3 is the 4. Solve for y by dividing by 2. to get y equals 2. Now we need to plug that value into the one we found before. Take 2. Plug it in for y. So we get 2x plus 2 equals 1. Now we need to solve for our other variable. First step to get x by itself, minus 2. Cancels out there. Left with 2x equals negative 1. Then divide by 2 to get x equals negative 1/2. So then final step is write out the coordinate point. X is negative 1/2. Y is 2. Our last example, this one is similar, but the one thing to notice is that the like terms are not lined up. 3x and 3x are there, the y's are there. The y's will cancel out if we add them, but now the first step is to make sure the terms are lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this one right below it, but in the same order. So the y's are first, so I'm going to put the positive 3y first. Then that's followed by positive 3x. And then I'm just going to carry down the 6 on the other side of the equal sign. So all I did was rewrite that side of the equation, 3y plus 3x. Now, we just follow the same steps. Make sure like terms are lined up, we're good. Add the like terms. If we notice, the y's are going to cancel out. 3x plus 3x is 6x. And 6 plus 6 is 12. Next step is to divide by 6 on both sides. Cancels out on the left. We're left with just x. And then 12 divided by 6 is 2. We take our 2 and plug it into one of our equations up above for x. So we get 3 times 2 plus 3y equals 6. Now if we keep solving, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 3y equals 0. Equals 6. Getting a step ahead of myself again. Carry down the 6. Now, next step, need to subtract 6 on both sides to get the y by itself. But it cancels out on both sides, so we're left with 3y equals 0. Then divide by 3. But 0 divided by 3 is just 0. So then finally our coordinate point, our solution, is x is 2, y is 0.